Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and it's another random destruction for you. First up is probably a steady game in the WZ-132, the Tier 8 Chinese light tank. But before we get into that, oh, it is a Tier 10 match by the way here on Kasserine. Yeah, but before we get into that, I've been contacted by somebody who is trying to organise a clan competition on the Xbox, and his gamer tag is Taggers365, which I shall put in the description of the video down below. And he's basically looking for clans to sign up to it. Now it is on only on the Xbox, this one, but it's on the 18th of July, and it starts at 7:30 UK time. Now I'm not sure if that's UTC or UTC +1 because of British summertime, so that's something that you'll have to check. But if you are interested, or your clan's interested, if you want to contact him, like I say, Taggers365, it will be in the description for you. And it's 6v6, and the maximum tier tank is tier 8 or tier 7 for light tanks. I am not affiliated with it or anything like that. It's nothing, it's not something that I'm organising or affiliated with. He's just contacted me and asked me to basically mention it to my community, my subs. So that he's trying to sort of do something nice for the community. So there you go. And like I say, I will put his game tag in the description if you do want to contact him for any details or to sign your clan up. Anyway, moving along, the WZ-132. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's a tier 8 Chinese light tank. I feel that it is being unloved and left behind somewhat, as have the other Chinese light tanks. And this is a bit of a leftover from the PC, I think. I think the Chinese vehicles have been on there for quite a while, and I mean, obviously people on the used console will have only ever seen the Chinese tanks on here. Anybody who's been on it or has been on the PlayStation version since the beginning, or even on the or definitely on the Xbox One, because that's been out for a long time, we'll know that Chinese tanks haven't been in the game overly long for us console people, but they've just been brought in, I think, pretty much basically with the PC stats. And the problem is that due to what's called power creep, where other tanks sort of receive little buffs here and there over time, and then eventually the tanks that didn't receive the buffs get left behind, and hence that sort of power creep, it just creeps up, and then all of a sudden you realise that you're really, yeah, sort of under par for the tier or whatever. And I must admit, with the Chinese light tanks, there is a lot of stuff that they are lacking over other light tanks, and in fact over some of the other mediums. I'm not talking about armour and firepower, I'm just talking like basic light tank survival stuff like speed and power to weight ratio, your acceleration, that sort of thing. So you just kind of have to adapt into it and adapt into the role. And to give you an idea, the power to weight ratio on this tier 8 light tank is worse than the new Edelweiss that's just come into the game, the tier 8 tank, and probably is about the same as the T-44, the tier 8 Russian medium tank, which has a lot more armour. But yeah, kind of about the same power to weight ratio. So yeah, you can kind of see what I'm saying here. Now, it doesn't mean that this is a bad tank, but like I said before, you've just got to kind of adapt. And this game is nothing particularly special. It's just a nice, solid, steady game in a tier 8 light. And the way that I'd probably recommend adapting to the WZ-132 is, yes, kind of use it as a light tank in a bit of an active spotting role, but I find it works better as like a fast attack tank rather than your traditional light tank. And I think I've found that with pretty much most of the tier 8 lights that I've been in. I mean, I've not had the T-49 yet, but I've had the T-54 lightweight, and that same sort of thing. It's a fast attack tank rather than your traditional light. And it's kind of the same with this. It's not got a bad top speed, but it's certainly not the best. And as I've said before, its power to weight ratio isn't brilliant, but it's manoeuvrable. It keeps its camouflage bonus on the move, and it's got a choice of 2 guns. The one that I use on it is a 100mm, I think it is, with about, I think it's 183 pen 250 damage. and it's not too bad. It's quite a nice gun, but you know, I'm taking a bit of a risk here, and I was very, very lucky there for that to hit my tracks, and most of the damage got absorbed into it. It makes me wonder if he didn't fire an HE round at me, and that might be what saved me, with just a bit of splash damage. But it does work well as a sort of hit and run tank as well. But I've a feeling actually that he got ammo racked then for whatever was left of his health, because I've only got 2 assisted damage ribbons. Although there is that a tracking one as well, but you'll see I was quite surprised by my assisted damage at the end of it. But yeah, it's quite a nice tank to get used to. Again, it's that sort of lack of gun depression that plagues the Chinese line. But yeah, I don't know. I think something needs to be given or buffed or something on the Chinese light tanks, because like I say, they kind of have been left behind a little bit, and I don't go in it very often. I've not been in it for a while actually. I go in it probably maybe once a month, if that, but I did enjoy it in this round, and I think I need to play it a bit more. I mean, when I first started playing this tank, I was trying to play it more like a light tank, you know, heading out, maybe getting to a spotting location, that sort of thing. And you do kind of want to be ahead of the team slightly to do a bit of active spotting, but you do have to be careful with it. But not a bad match. In fact, any match where you can come top when you're bottom tier is always nice. And I managed to get 2,382 of my own damage done and 2,224 assisted. And that's what I was quite surprised about, with only having 2 or 3 assisted damage ribbons, getting 2,200 and odd damage done on the assisted, which was quite a surprise, but it put me at the top of the table. And yeah, it's quite a nice little, like I say, fast attack tank. And you do have a choice of guns, like I say, 100mm, I think it's an 85, which has a lot, I think it has lower pen, but a lot better rate of fire. Might have slightly lower damage as well. Anyway, moving along, second of the replays for you tonight. I'm back in the T44, which I did mention in the last video. I would like to get, it's not that I don't like this tank, I love this tank. It's nothing to do with not liking it or anything like that. In fact, I have actually been considering keeping it when I do get the T54 unlocked, because I do really like the T44. I know the T54 is going to be fairly similar, but that's a tier 9, this is a tier 8. But yeah, I have been in. I wasn't looking forward to it. That's the thing. I kind of wasn't looking forward to the T44 after going through like the T43 and stuff like that. And I looked at the sort of stats of it in the garage and thought, you know, maybe not. But I've really enjoyed it. Been very pleasantly surprised by it and enjoyed this tank. So yeah, I am considering keeping it. Anyway, it's tier 8 match on top tier, so I've got a bit of a nice advantage there of being top tier. Although there's not many of us that come up this way. There's myself, there's a light tank, and you can see just a bit over on our right flank there's another light and a heavy that's sort of come straight up the middle. Now those light tanks keep peeking over there to spot our team. There's a few of them that are still near cap as well. I don't know if they're... Oh no, they're moving now. Yeah, they are moving. Now there's a heavy tank off to my left. Well, there's a couple of guys around there possibly dealing with him. We need to try and get rid of these spotters, because they just keep popping up and lighting us all up. And we could do getting rid of them, and a bit late on the trigger there against the Lycan. And that's when RT gives me a bit of a knock. He must have just clipped me there, because I didn't take much damage. Did knock my tracks off. There's the 12T, he's dealt with, so that's fine. I can have a look around here. Whoop! There's a hammer up there. Didn't quite pay attention to the map then. Pulled out a bit early as well. I sort of mistimed that. But nevertheless, he bounced off me anyway. And then the object 416, is it 416? Anyway, the frying pan comes around the corner. I did manage to get a hit on him and damage his ammo rack, and he sort of, I don't know, it was weird. He came around the corner, looked at me and the other tank that were there, and just buggered off without really doing anything. But I'm not letting him bugger off. I'm going to have him. Unfortunately, not a great amount of ramming damage because he was moving back as well, and because, well, T-44 is not the heaviest tank, but any damage is damage. Now let's go back up here and see what we can do up here. And I was just looking at the map as well and thinking, you know, it's not too bad. A couple of other people have come up to this corner, but I was just keeping my eye over to the right because it just seems like there's quite a large space with nothing really in it. And I'm not quite sure what a lot of our team are doing. Some have spread out down to the south, but early on there were quite a few still near camp, and I'm not entirely sure where they've gone. But it looks like there's a medium tank that's got round behind our cap, so in a way I'm kind of glad that they were still there because they can deal with him. And well, I've just hit the spaced armour on the IS-3 twice in a row. Lovely. That one did go through. To be honest, the front of an IS-3, I don't know, I would have thought hitting the lower plate I'd probably get through. However, maybe should have switched and just fired an APCR through that lower glacis. I was quite surprised that I couldn't pen that. I've done it before in this, but I don't know. Anyway, he's dead. That's the end of the discussion on it. And now heading back towards the middle. I've got a feeling there's probably going to be something over towards cap. It's a fairly low profile machine on the T-44, so I'm going to try and use this road with this sand dune just off to the left and try and sneak round and get towards the middle. There's 4 of the 5 remaining tanks, and there's the 5th. It just popped up on my left on the map. That's when I noticed him, when I started turning my turret. And it's a Tiger II, and from the looks of his turret at the front, it's rounded, so it looks like it's stock. So I would imagine he's using the long 88. Is it the rounded turret? It certainly looked like it. So in any case, even if it goes hull down, there's a chance, I don't know with this gun, but there's a good chance I could put it through the front of his turret. And I didn't see that rock until I was already like on it and going over it, yeah. Now, I am aware that that Tiger II is over there, and I am keeping an eye on the map at this point. And yeah, as you can see, I'm a bit wary. I am lit up. I knew the Tiger II was over there somewhere, and I was kind of expecting a round in the side. But I'm not quite sure where he's going, or if he's trying to flank us. I am spotted. You know, I am showing up on radar. But he's just moving across. And yeah, just allowed me to put shot after shot in, and I don't know, I'm not quite sure what happened there. That I really should have aimed, and if I had, I might have got the kill on the KV-5 as well. That's my own fault, you live and learn. Well, you don't, because I keep doing shit like that, but normally people live and learn. But not a bad round in my T-44. Quite happy with that one. Don't get too excited about the XP. I have got a ×2 boost on there as well, but just over 3,100 damage done, and just a little bit of blocked as well. Like I say, nothing too special. Nice damage, but you know, no particular medals or anything like that. Just a couple of nice, steady, solid games. Anyway, I will be back later on with another video. I think it will be subscriber series or road to tier 10 today. I'll have to see how the day pans out. So until then, take care out there, and I will catch you next time. See you later.